104.9 Sunshine FM, Tracy the Big D. And of course, last week we did our Two for You for Urban, and Casey was in that little mix up there because Casey Barnes is in the Friday night concert, which is the 1st of May 2015, which is only a couple of weeks away. So we're getting very excited. We thought, what's better? We can't just play Casey and not have a chat to him. So he's joining us tonight. Casey, how are things going? How's the preparations for Urban?
Oh, it's going great. Yeah, thanks for having me. We're really excited to be part of the lineup this year. It's going to be awesome. I was just looking at some of the other artists involved today, actually, and it's actually a really good lineup. So we're stoked to be part of it.
And because you've got a nice little spot there, right in between, of course, the 2015 Toyota Star Maker winner Mickey Pye, and then yourself, and then followed by Little George. It was a bit of a mix-up there for Urban this year.
Yeah, it's great that they're it looks as though they're branching out a little bit this year with a few different acts and genres and stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Well, we're taking the view that it's nice that Urban have introduced a few more genres, because that way the people that are coming to see them, we can influence them to the countryside.
Exactly.
That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, no, we can't wait.
It's fair to say though, Casey, your music is what they would have classed middle of the road a few years back. And I love the sound when I hear it, and I know the influence that you've had with Rick Price, who's one of Tracy's all-time favourites. Mm-hmm. Has that had a major influence on the way that you're writing in the future?
Absolutely. It's had a massive impact on me, I think in a good way. I was fortunate enough to bump into Rick when I was in Nashville completely by chance, and we hit it off straight away, and we're now obviously really good mates. And
stop it! You're making me jealous.
I must admit, actually, I've got a bit of a man crush on Rick as well. So he's. I mean, I can remember listening to him when I was in high school and just loving his music back then, and just to turn around in this cafe in Nashville and just turn around and go, that's Rick Price, and then he's turned up to my gig later that day and had a listen, and then the rest is history. We started writing the next day, and we've become really good mates. And he's had a huge impact on sort of the direction that I've taken, but I think in a good way. So he sort of had that little bit more of a country and blues sort of a effect on the stuff that I've come out with, so it's been good.
Now, earlier tonight we were talking to a young lady, Dana Hassel, who's been doing the festivals for many years, and she's branching out, and she's got her first singles out there, and she's doing her songwriting at the moment. Now, I know you've had loss, you've had love, you've had all sorts of things in such a short, I suppose over the past maybe 8 years you've had some very good highs, but you've also had some really bad lows as well. Does that change your style of writing as well?
Yeah, I generally write from personal experiences, most of the stuff that I do. And, I think the older you get, the more life experiences you have, and you tend to draw upon that, So I think when you're in your early 20s, you're always writing about getting your heart broken all the time, because that tends to happen a fair bit. And then, when you get older, and I'm obviously married now and with a family, there's lots of other things that tend to sort of factor in with your songwriting, and so that's definitely had an impact on what I've sort of written.
I love the way that you say that it was a coincidence that you, by chance meeting. I mean, my chance meeting with Rick Price was exactly the same. It took me 3 hours walking back and forth that corridor to bump into him. So I know what you mean.
Stalker alert.
It's so weird though. Like I seriously, I went to Nashville. I mean, I had a plan of what I wanted to do, and I'd spent months preparing to go over there, but I hadn't. Rick was sort of on my wish list of people that I would love to work with, but nothing had been locked in, and it honestly was just, we were in a cafe, and I turned around, he was there, and he recognised the Aussie accent, and I just turned around and realised who it was. And sometimes fate can be a funny thing, it just sort of stepped in, and it was very fortunate. So, yeah, I was very lucky.
Well, we've got the new single out at the moment, Hard Times. Tell us a little bit about that one before we go out with it.
Yeah, so this is another one that Rick and I co-wrote together, and it's probably one of the only tracks that doesn't come from, I guess, a literal standpoint, but we basically wrote the riff, and it was a sort of like a bluesy pop sort of vibe, with a smidge of country. And you know, Rick sort of said, I'm hearing some lyrics here that are sort of like a guy that's been done wrong by a girl, or he's been screwed over, and that's basically the gist behind the song. And it's all about a guy who everywhere he turns, it's like he can't get his girl out of his head. And yeah, I guess there's a few guys that can probably relate to that. So that's what it's all about.
Oh, we've all had our heart broken, I can guess. So this is for everyone. But folks, make sure you check out Casey Barnes at this year's Urban Country Music Festival on the Friday night, kicking off there to really get the mood flowing for what we're having. Absolutely, it's going to be fantastic. And get along and say good day to Casey as well, and let him know that you like his music and where we're going. So we're going to go out with the song right now, and we look forward to seeing you there on the Friday night. Casey Barnes.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Casey. Here he is right now in Hard Times.